In over 20 years, this event has always had dry, sunny weather, and the first year I come, it's pouring rain. In fact, it's been pouring for probably 48 hours. That's okay. I've got my Japanese raincoat. I'm all good. So where are we? And first of all, who the heck am I? I'm Phaedra from All Things Phaedra. Think of me as your bigger, smarter, older sister. Did I say bigger? Anyway, I'm here to bring you my everyday perspective on today. We're talking about cars. This is called IMPA Spring Break. IMPA is the International Motor Press Association, headquartered in New York, and I am an invited guest to attend today. And what happens at a road rally? Well, you basically see all these fabulous new cars that are brought by the automakers. And the way this works is I go, and if it's sitting in that lot, I can just jump in and drive it. Here's the kicker though. I only have about 20 minutes in each car. So that's not a lot of time to really review it, but it's enough time to give me some first impressions. So here's the deal. I've got roughly 6 hours, not including lunch, to just hop in and take things for a ride. And I'm gonna take you along, show you all the cars I have a chance to drive, depending on what's available in the lot. So stay tuned and see if you can guess which car is my favorite at the end. And then I wanna hear what your favorite is. All right, we're gonna start with a car that I actually have driven. Can you believe that? This is the Kia K4. I had it as a rental car down in Florida, and I was actually really impressed with the way the base model drove. So this is the GT line, and we're gonna see if that steps things up a notch. So first impressions, or second, if you count my rental car experience with the Kia K4, is that this is a really solid, fun to drive sedan. It's perfect for 5 passengers. It's got really nice accents inside. This is the GT line, so it's a little bit sportier inside. I'm going to put some stats on the screen so that you can see a little bit more about the car. But, you know, it is low to the ground and it's got very sporty handling. So this is a quick look at the interior. Very sleek, doesn't feel cheap, feels really nice, really well thought out. Lots of space for your gear, for your charging. The only thing that I found was kind of weird is this turn signal. Okay, calm down, turn signal. Overall, I feel the same as I did when I rented it, which is this is a surprisingly good sedan. Nicely done, Kia. Next up is the Kia Carnival. You know what? I don't think I have ever reviewed a single minivan on my channel, but honestly, at a distance, doesn't it look more like a Ford Explorer? This is the Kia Carnival, and we're gonna take it for a test run. Oh, forgot to mention, it's a hybrid. Might as well take a look at the back. Whoa, holy, that's a lot of room back there. There is a third row, I'm assuming, under here somewhere. Yeah, we're not gonna mess with that, but look at that. And then the feature that moms everywhere love, which is that sliding door and easy access to get to, hello, these captain's chairs in the back. Oh, I'm sorry, these aren't captain's chairs. These are VIP lounge seats. It says with one button, hold the button. Oh yeah, okay, all right. So I'm fully reclined back here, but I think that there is, oh, I can go back even further. And then I think, okay, here we go. We've just gone from economy class to business class. There's a nice interior shot. Again, Kia does really well at giving you lots of space for your gear and your stuff because nobody travels lightly these days, and a really polished interior. Now that we know it's fun to sit in, at least the back, and it looks pretty, we're going to see how it does on the road. As you can see, these are the conditions we're dealing with. It's wet, it's rainy, it's windy, and it's handling it like a champ. I mean, you can hear the engine work as we're going uphill. In fact, let me throw some stats up on the screen for you. But generally speaking, it handles really nicely for such a tall vehicle. Now, this next car I might be a little biased about, and it's not just because it's currently giving me a nice heated massage. It's because this is the car that I personally own, just a different model year. Let me show you what it is. This is the Volvo XC90. Yes, that is what I am currently driving. Mine is a 2021. This is actually a 2026 and a half. So it got a half-year refresh, and everything on the inside, they say, has been touched. On the exterior, it looks really similar to mine, except for that updated grille. But let me show you some of the details in there. Seating for 6, so you have captain's chairs in the back, as well as a third row, just for 2 people. And then inside, we've got these amazing seats. This is the one that was giving me the heated massage. The dash has been refreshed. You can see the wood accents, the fabric accents. You've got vertical vents and a much larger screen than what I have. But as far as I could tell, it still wants you to use a cable to plug in your phone. Come on, Volvo, we need the wireless CarPlay here. But where I really noticed the difference is on these wet, windy, hilly roads. And I know it's not fair to compare a Volvo to a Kia Carnival, but this T8 engine had exactly 0 problems getting up this hill. Here's my next victim. This is the Hyundai Santa Fe, and this is one it's giving off Defender vibes. And so I've been really excited to try this one for a while. One thing I love about Kia and Hyundai is they make some bold style choices, and I can appreciate that. However, and do not at me for this, I really don't like this car. For my first impressions, let me show you why. Let's talk about this door sill first. So this has a pretty good height to it, and I actually tripped getting out of the car. Next thing let's talk about is this seat right here. This width is too long for my short legs, so this is kind of ramming into the back of my knees unnecessarily. The other thing that I'm not really digging, let's see if you can even find it. Right here, this is the gear shifter. Can you see it? It's really hard to see it right there. This is one of those like why moments. Why do we have that? And then here's the rest of the car, and there are things that I like. I like this open console, which sort of has a minivan vibe. Thank you, Hyundai, for my box of water. And then I love the pass-through under here, great for stashing stuff. And it's got a sizable rear space. And on a positive, let's talk about actually one of the most important things, which is the way that it drives. And that is that it has great power getting up and down the hills, and it handles really well. And while we're driving, I'm going to throw up some stats for you. So I will say while we're driving that the handling isn't as good as some of the other vehicles, but that is to be expected because it feels kind of top heavy. This is when we get a little aspirational with our driving. This is the Lucid Air, and if you're East Coast based, you probably don't see these as much as you would if you were in California. This is an all-electric luxury sedan, the Lucid Air. If you look inside, it's a really thoughtful design with the entire display right here focused on the driver. Everything is accessible. And as with many EVs, most of the functions that you're going to control are either going to be in the center console or the side console. It's actually, unlike other EVs, I won't mention any names, Tesla, but it's actually very intuitive. And one of the things that I love about this are the 3 different modes. So smooth, there's a glare there, but you can see there's smooth, there's swift, and there's sprint, and that gives you different driving abilities. And as of course, I went straight for the massage. You get plenty of space in the trunk. And then as with most EVs, you've got a frunk or a front trunk, and it looks very shallow here, as a lot of them are, but under here, you can see it's large enough to actually hold an entire suitcase. When it comes to driving, there are a couple things to get used to, not just the EV driving, but the glass itself. It's an entirely glass roof that extends back over the back seat. And the great thing about driving an EV on roads like this is it's got an incredible amount of regenerative braking. You can actually set how much braking resistance that you want, but that's going to help your battery last even longer. This one has an extended range battery with a range of over 500 miles. Okay, next up we have the Lincoln Navigator. And look, I am usually the first person to say like, yeah, it's a Lincoln, but really it's just a really expensive Ford. Well, that may be the case. This is the same, it's on the same platform as the Ford Expedition, but the interior makes all the difference. You can get the extended Navigator with an additional foot, but wait till you see the interior of this guy. Oh, don't mind if I do. Just take a look at this interior. I actually needed a little instruction to know what to do here. So we've got, okay, this is the obvious stuff that I can figure out on my own. Nice wireless charging for your phone, keep it out of view, really nice accents, but the transmission was not, the gear shifter was not immediately obvious to me. And while the screen is pretty self-explanatory, there's a whole host of other things that you can do up here on this beautiful screen. I feel like I'm in my living room looking at this screen. And there are options that I didn't even really understand. So some of these are right here on the steering wheel. I'll show you this one right here that I had to use. You press that. Okay. Now watch on this screen. So now on this screen, I can move my finger around and decide if I want to adjust. Oh, I can adjust the brake pedals. I can adjust the side mirrors. I can adjust the steering wheel. This is all important for short girls. If you're one, you know. And then just take a quick look in the back. So this is a 7-passenger. Yeah, that looks like 7-passenger. Now I'm going to throw some stats on the screen while we are driving down this road. And my biggest concern with a vehicle like this is feeling like it's going to get away from me as I'm going down these hills. It handled going up just fine, just like a champ, but I am having to ride the brakes a little on the way down, which is to be expected with something this big, but I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't make it around that corner. It's a super easy drive, and I just love that screen. Like, it's so beautiful to look at, and you can customize it. You can turn some of the screens off, or you can change what you're seeing on the screen too. So what do you do when the rain starts coming down? Well, you don't quit driving, because these are real world driving conditions. And to change things up, my budget just went down a little bit. Now that may look like a nice, boring brown sedan, but I mean, look at me. Brown's my color, and it is anything but boring. This is the Honda Civic. So there are lots of Hondas and Acuras here. And I asked them, which one should I take out? And they said, the Civic. I think you'll have a lot of fun. And you know what? They were 100% correct. All I can say is thank God the wipers and the heater works in this car. But if you look at what we've got here, compact sedans have come a long way. And it's got everything that you need, every modern convenience, from the Apple CarPlay and the wireless chargers down here and all of your USB connections. And it's really focused on simplicity, the simplicity of driving and simplicity of the information that you need to drive. This is it, guys. This is pretty basic. I mean, we've got cruise control and so on, but what we're really focused on here is the driving. And having just come, let me show you that road, that windy, hilly road, this thing handled like a champ. So while some cars, the engine really struggled to get up this hill, this little Civic blasted right up it. And because it's low to the ground, it has a very sporty feel. And the handling was really, really kind of amazing. I'll say this is one that I would definitely like to spend a week in. Okay, I'm trying to stay unbiased here, but truth be told, I love Genesis. If you've never driven one, it is like the epitome of a quiet, comfortable ride. Super soft and sporty at the same time, if that makes sense. They have some really nice design choices on the outside that I love. I know I haven't focused a lot on that, but I really like the creases in the body. And look at how that line is carried all the way through to the front. And their lighting package is so distinguishable. And then they have these accents down here. Can you see the painted lines on the rims? They just have some really nice style choices. And if you haven't seen any of the Genesis vehicles, let me take you inside the GV70. We've got some sporty accents in this edition, these nice orange. It's a little alarming at first. And a really beautiful interior and dash. Okay, real world scenario here. We got some raindrops everywhere because it is just kind of a miserable mess out there. But I just, I love the quality and the workmanship of the Genesis. And the other thing that I really like is that you can get in and you can figure out exactly where everything is. So, you know, I wanted to move the steering wheel and I found the adjuster down here. I wanted to move the side mirrors and I found the adjusters over here. And I wanted to do something with the seats and I found it up here. I mean, it's a very intuitive design, and that is something that cannot be said for all high-tech and luxury vehicles. If I had any complaints, and this is just a minor one, it's that we have this gear shifter right here, which is a nice knob, and yet multiple times I grabbed this knob. So the knob thing is a little bit confusing, but I don't mind it. And just for the sake of showing you the rear, here we go. This does not have a third row. This is the smaller of their SUV lines. It's a solid vehicle, but it doesn't feel heavy. The handling is very tight. The steering is very tight, but the suspension is, when I say soft, I don't mean bouncy. I mean soft as in just an extremely comfortable ride. It's one of the smoothest rides I've ever experienced. This is the BMW M235i xDrive Grand Coupe. Yes, I said coupe. And it's really fast and really fun, and not the best car to take out on a rainy day because you want to punch it, and these roads really don't want you to do that. Also, have I ever mentioned that purple is my favorite color? This has what I call a very masculine interior. It just has kind of those dark colors, sort of the racing vibe, and even these nice micro suede seats underneath all my junk. This blue stitching, and a really kind of no-nonsense console here. So just kind of some fun things here. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Oh yeah, listen to that engine. Okay, and then if you look at my modes, this I did not get a chance to take advantage of yet. But we've got the personal mode, the sports mode, the efficient mode. This is what I was in, which is probably, you know, pretty neutral. We're going to hit that on the way back because this is a dynamic setting for pure driving a pleasure. This time, while I show you some stats, instead of showing you the road, I'm going to show you me enjoying that pure pleasure of driving. Here we go. Oh, that sound. Oh my God, that turbo sound. It's amazing. Oh, baby, this is definitely sport mode. And it does want to get away from you. But the handling is amazing. The speed is amazing. This is just, yeah, this is really fun to drive. Oh, and one more thing, I almost missed my turn back there. And may I say, the brakes nailed it. Now, the next car I chose to drive is the Honda Passport, and there are two reasons that I picked this one. Number one, I think it looks really freaking awesome. This is kind of like my design style, my design language. I kind of like modern boxy. I just coined that term, modern boxy. And the other reason is that I have never, ever driven a Honda Passport. I spent time in a Honda Pilot years ago, which I loved, but like, just look at that aesthetic. It's wide. From the rear, it almost looks like a Ford Bronco. I just think it looks really good. But if we look at the interior, it's pretty standard. It's pretty solid looking back here. As you can tell, the second row is pretty roomy. I'm not going too into depth here. Now, up front, Honda's never been my favorite for design choices, so I'm really excited about the exterior. And I like little compartments like this. I think that's a nice addition. And I think this center console is okay, but the rest of it looks a little like, I don't know, let's stick the iPad up on top. And this driver area right here looks a little, I don't know, outdated. I think they could have done a little bit better on the interior. But the thing that I don't love about this Honda Passport is its handling and the drive. I'm going to show you some stats on the way up the hill this time, because what I am finding is that the drive, it's a little bouncy. It doesn't feel as solid and as stable as I'd like. And that engine is really having to work a little hard. Now, these are pretty steep roads, but it's having to work a little extra harder than I would like to get up these hills. Well, we're back to torrential downpours, and at this point you would think I would just give up and call it a day, but I couldn't, because this one's brand new to me. This is the Honda Prologue, and the color alone is appealing, and I really just wanted to check it out for myself. Now, this is an EV, Honda Prologue Elite. That's the trim level. I love the Honda logo. Ooh, I found another driver here. And I just think it looks good. So that's usually what catches my eye. But wait till you see inside. Let's start back here. So this feels like an SUV, right? And it's got that nice, light, bright, airy feeling that you usually get with EVs. But there are a couple things that are kind of weird. The first one being these windshield wipers. They're very erratic. It just looks like someone awkwardly dancing to me. Then we're going to go here to the dash. Everything looks fine here. I love that we still have tactile buttons and we still have a nice, easily accessible touch screen. And I really like the navigation here for the driver itself and, you know, pretty standard stuff. But then we get here and, like, I'm not a minimalist, but I don't mind it. I'm just confused. Like, what is this? I thought, oh, maybe this is a giant charging pad, but doesn't seem to do anything. We've got, you know, supports here, some USB connections, but what is this big surface other than me getting my wet handprints all over it? So here's what I'm going to say. I feel like that there is a lot to learn about this car. The other thing is, look at this weird gear shifter, right? Like, I'm learning everybody's got their own, and that's fine. And I don't mind this one on the steering wheel like I did with the Santa Fe, because it's, you know, it's visible, it's easy to see, but like you have to pull forward and down to get into drive, or pull forward and up. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's something new to learn. Now, in terms of the drive, I know a lot of you are EV haters, something I do not understand. You don't have to buy one, but you gotta like them. They're really fun to drive. They're really zippy. They're very torquey. This one isn't. This one is, the acceleration is decent, but it's not gonna be like, oh yeah, this is why I like EVs. This is really torquey. Well, the rain has mostly stopped and my hair has mostly flopped. And while we still have more time in the day, I'm about to call it quits. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of work to drive cars, but it's exhausting. So I thought oh, here comes the rain again. I thought I would pick one last car that would be a little bit fun. This is the Mini Countryman. And the reason I picked this is because I've only ever driven a Mini one time in my life. And I really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. And I'll tell you why. Because there is something about this car, the way it's designed, the way you sit, that you feel like a very upper crust British man sitting behind the wheel. And, you know, rightfully so. This is very much a British car. Let's take a look at why this is so fun and everything that I love about it. First of all, this is the kind of decor inside a vehicle that can either look really cool or really tacky. But I feel like they do a nice combination of color accents that it looks fun. It looks, dare I say, whimsical. I'm going to walk you through everything that I loved about this. The first one is there's no key, but there's no push button either. It's this knob here that you turn. I love that. I love that, right? That's kind of like an old school knob. Took me a minute to find it, but I absolutely love that. Place for your phone. You know, you've got all of the modern conveniences. What is this? Ooh, I like that too. We've got our USB connections down here. I like so much about this. I like the fabric interior. I like the design up on the dash. I love the head-up display because it's on this little screen, not on your windshield. And the visibility of it is so much better if you like that sort of thing. Really nice play with the textures. And look at the steering wheel down here. Like you guys, I was not expecting to love this vehicle. Two more quick things about this Mini is the width of the seats. So if you have a standard American wide load, this seat might not fit your derriere. It's actually a little tight. It's a little tight for me. And then we also have this gear shifter here, which is a little tiny and, you know, takes some getting used to. But overall, I really like the balance. Oh, that's volume. I really like the balance between tactile buttons and the digital feel. I feel like they've done a really nice job of evolving the Mini. And then, of course, this is your display. We're not going to stick an iPad right here on the dash. We're going to do this nice, cute, round thing, okay? But we're going to cycle through these experiences. Okay? Okay, I did not pick Corey Hart. Let that be known. But you can cycle through these. And honestly, I don't know everything that they do. Here we go. Balance. That one, for some reason, when I pick it, maybe that's like nighttime mode. It wants to close this, the moonroof. You guys, it's been a long day. I forget what we call these things. We've got this trail mode. Look at that. There's timeless. Look at that. It's old-timey. Go-kart. What? Oh my God. I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, but all of that, right? Like, it's cute, it's fun, and it looks pretty good too. Like, I like that green color, but how does it drive? Okay, well, guess what? You're in for a treat. Let me throw some stats up on the screen while you listen to this engine. Can you hear that? I'm like, what? This is a Mini? I didn't know it could do this. It is fast. It is fun. It sits up high. It's not a low sports car, but man, it's got great handling. Oh yeah, listen to that. Well, it was a long, soggy, kind of miserable day, but the bright spot was I got to drive, if I counted correctly, 12 different cars. 12 cars. In one day. That's a lot, right? You can see I'm overloaded with all my gear and everything else. And there were some that I loved for the exterior. There were some that I loved for the interior. There were some that I loved for the luxury, for the ride, for the handling, for the acceleration. There were so many different things. But if I had to pick one winner overall, you're not going to believe this. It's going to be, I feel like there should be a drum roll, the Honda Civic. So I was actually surprised when I drove it. I thought, oh, okay, all right, I'll drive the Civic. I'll get that out of the way. It's fun. It's sporty. It's quick. It handles well. And you're kind of stripping away all the extraneous technology. You've got all the necessary technology, but all the extraneous stuff, which lets you just focus on the driving. So after all that, there were many cars that I loved, but that one was kind of the standout for me. Now, after all that, I will say there were two cars that I was kind of disappointed with. And I'm not going to tell you which one they are, but if you follow me on Instagram and send me a DM, I will reveal to you what those two cars are, as long as you promise not to tell anybody else. I don't want to get a bad rep out there. So thanks for joining me. I hope this was fun for you to watch. It was a lot of work for me to drive, but it was fun for me to do as well. And I hope you hit the subscribe button. Come back for more car adventures, more travel adventures, more of all things Phaedra. Thanks, guys.